we just were given a bombshell replace. XRP ETFs are inbound, and so it really is why I'm making this Crimson Alert video today for all of you notable human beings. But there's a number of other, in reality, interesting matters that are taking place inside the markets right now too, that I've been diving deep into, that I desired to share with you guys too, due to the fact, frankly, I imply some of the things I was seeing become a touch bit concerning, in particular what I'm about to expose you right here, approximately insiders and what they're currently doing with their stocks, especially technology shares, which we recognize are very closely correlated to cryptocurrencies in terms of charge motion and general overall performance. So I decided to just communicate about this real quick. We can see that US executives are selling shares at a file pace. The ratio of insider customers to dealers dropped to 0.22. That is the lowest since 1988 when FACT started. This is beneath preceding lows of 0.24 and 0.25, visible in 2024 and 2021. You can see this in reality if we look at the chart proper right here, that is the bottom level it has been, considering that recorded records which commenced again in 2018. Now, I do desire that we did have a good deal better tiers to look what the levels had been like in 2008, 2009. Unfortunately, we can't see that information because it became no longer being tracked at that time, I suggest. It's likely an awesome issue for those corporate insiders because a number of humans in all likelihood might have commenced promoting lots earlier during that monetary disaster. However, we have access to this data now. And what this data basically is telling us is that, well, that is searching actually just like 2021. I imply, have a look at the 2021 dip that we noticed proper right here of customers in line with company insider sellers. And we're seeing the identical element occur proper right here in 2025. So what does this imply in my thoughts? Well, a lot of corporate insiders are essentially saying that they assume the markets are overestimated right now and they're glad to promote their stocks and get coins cash as opposed to the stocks that they had been formerly maintaining. Now, there's many one-of-a-kind methods that you could have a look at this because of path, we're nonetheless hitting new all-time highs. Who is driving all of this fee motion? And properly, there is one element that I realize for sure. There's a lot extra retail traders involved inside the area right now than there was 6 months in the past. I assume all of us who's been worried in cryptocurrency for the final couple of years may be able to inform you this beyond any reasonable doubt. I see this firsthand due to the fact I see the amount of human beings that are watching my movies. I can see that the hobby in cryptocurrency has long gone up drastically over the course of the ultimate to 3 months. And so I do suppose that some corporate insiders are the use of retail buyers as go out liquidity. And I do additionally assume that establishments are currently promoting and shopping for, at strategic instances, a good way to liquidate quite a few futures positions to make quick cash as properly. What we are essentially seeing is that corporate insiders and establishments are swing buying and selling to basically earnings based off of the mistakes of novice retail buyers. Now, I'm profiting throughout this time. However, nonetheless, this is concerning to me, and that is something that I did want to carry to you men attention. They're using market dynamics and market psychology to essentially profit at your guys' price. That's what I'm seeing right now. Now, in different information, we do have Trump performing some quite interesting matters too with tariffs, which certainly are going to have a massive effect on the global financial system. We noticed, of course, simply the day gone by, that Trump announced 25% price lists on both Canada and Mexico. And he said that those price lists are set to enter effect on the 1st of February. And he stated they will or won't upward push with time. But he has, considering that gone, returned on that about 15 hours later after he made the announcement, which became simply made this morning, saying that he is now delaying beginning the 25% price lists on Canada and Mexico from the 1st of February to the 1st of March of path consistent with Trump and the administration officials. Basically, they are already backpedaling on when they want these tariffs to head live. The difficulty with price lists is that your opponent, whoever you are enforcing those tariffs on, also can reply with price lists. And it essentially just becomes a exchange battle of foul, wherein both people essentially say, okay, we are going to increase tariffs, we are going to enhance price lists, consumers are going to be annoyed, after which it reasons political unrest. And so the internet gain right here that Trump is playing a exchange struggle with Canada, a excellent change companion who I assume is jointly useful, like there's no big deficit here. Canada affords oil, US refines that oil, sells it, returned to Canada, and the relaxation of the sector. It's truly a genuinely good buy for the US. I imply Canada ought to realistically simply create their very own oil refineries, after which just sell the oil themselves. But currently they're giving it all to the US, and US is in reality profiting on that immensely. So yeah, I do not suppose this is an excellent pass-to-place price lists on Canada. Mexico, I apprehend a little bit more because of the troubles with the cartels and lots of different issues. But yeah, Canada, I suppose, you already know it's simply not an excellent man or woman to do that with, as it's simply going to cause inflation on each aspect because of how plenty oil does come from Canada. And if Trump wants to begin buying greater oil from the Saudis or Russia, he can do this. However, I suggest people he probably does not need to deal plenty with right now, considering a few different geopolitical issues that he's dealing with those international locations. So with that being said, even though Trump isn't always simply threatening 25% price lists, he's also threatening 100% price lists on BRICS international locations if they try to update the United States dollar. I understand. I do think it's ridiculous. You know, he is basically just pronouncing, yeah, no person's going to transact. I'm now not going to transact with you if you guys are going to be in BRICS and trying to update the USA dollar. Now, how they respond to this can be, in reality, exciting. I do think that is type of like a bully type of circulate. It's basically just pronouncing, you know, you allow us to do what we want. And if you do not, then we don't trade with you, and you do not get to be part of the most important economic system inside the global. And I suppose, in truth, this does incentivize a gaggle of nations to try to deal with the USA even less. So, yeah, I've yet to peer how this is going to play out. I don't assume it's going to play out extremely well. I do not assume that these price lists will final long due to the fact while Americans' charges begin going up for actually the whole thing due to how much imports they have got. Yeah, it's probably now not going to be a fantastic game within the long term. Sure, you're the arena reserve proper now. However, in case you're ruining your commercial enterprise relationships with clearly every person, and no person wants to do business with you anymore, they may find an answer. And so he is gambling a quite dicey game right here. And I do assume that if played wrong, it's Miles going to simply expedite the downfall of the US of America. Now, according to Elon Musk, he is really pronouncing that there is going to be no inflation in 2026 if the Department of Government Efficiency cuts $4 billion according to Day in US spending. This is virtually interesting to mention. I mean, this is also of direction, assuming that the Federal Reserve does not print any money. And with the present day change wars taking place, I suppose it is becoming more and more probably that they should print cash with a view to, you understand, basically get themselves out of the liquidity crisis that they are probably to see themselves in. But we are going to see how this all performs out. You recognize no inflation in 2026, that might be okay. You truly, in keeping with every unmarried economist ever, you do want a bit of inflation. Like no more than like 2.2% inflation is taken into consideration like wholesome. Because the issue is once you get into a kingdom of deflation, it is